Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Nicholas Richardson and this is the news. The Prime Ministers of Poland and the Czech Republic have adopted guidelines for an agreement on the Turów coal mine. After signing the deal, the Czech Republic will withdraw their complaint from the Court of Justice of the European Union. The Czech government believes that the mine has a negative influence on the groundwater levels on its side of the border. The court in Luxembourg has issued an injunction ordering Poland to close down the mine ahead of the final verdict. Poland has said this is impossible as the mine provides Poland with up to 8% of its electricity. Following consultations with his Czech counterpart, Poland's Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki said that the two governments have agreed on a roadmap that will lead to a deal regarding the mine. After its signing, the Czech Republic will withdraw its complaint to the Court of Justice of the European Union. Taking into consideration the ever closer cooperation regarding transborder issues between Poland and the Czech Republic, we are now very close to reaching a final agreement on the issue. Our Czech partners have agreed to withdraw their complaint from the Court of Justice of the European Union once the agreement is signed. Czech Prime Minister wrote on Twitter that the exact terms of the agreement are still being negotiated. I am glad that after many years of negotiations, Poland has recognised that mining at the Turów mine harms the environment, but the problem has not yet been fully solved. Teams of experts are negotiating compensation for the affected municipalities. The spokesman of the Polish government said that the guidelines for the agreement were agreed upon yesterday. Finalising this agreement will lead the Czech Republic to withdraw its complaint. Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki indicated yesterday that this deal, we are in the process of settling its final structure, will lead to the Czechs withdrawing their complaint. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of State Assets Jacek Sasin also announced that the government will try to keep the mine operating until the end of the concession it has received, which is 2044. The Polish port city of Gdansk is preparing for the arrival of the teams and supporters of Spain's Villarreal and England's Manchester United for the Europa League final, set to be played in the city's stadium on Wednesday evening. Flags and decorations can be seen across the city's historic Old Town and along the major streets as the match day approaches. A giant replica of the Europa League trophy was unveiled on Saturday in the Old Town, with many residents gathering there to take pictures. The match presented a great opportunity to showcase what the city has to offer and its stadium, resident Claudia Wojcik said.
It's like great opportunity to see this in Gdańsk, because Gdańsk is a beautiful city and we have a really great stadium here, and I think people just arriving here for touristic reason will see how much happening in the city, and we are really excited for the game.
Restaurant terraces and beer gardens have been open since May the 15th in Poland as part of a relaxation of COVID-19 restrictions. Supporters will also be able to gather in fan zones located at either end of the Old Town. The Europa League final will be allowed to host up to 9,500 spectators after Europe soccer governing body UEFA said it had received approval from the Polish authorities. The final will be held at the city's Stadion Miejski at a stadium capacity of 25%, with both finalists receiving 2,000 tickets each and 2,000 tickets to be offered to the general public. The remaining tickets will be allocated to the local organising committee, UEFA and national associations, commercial partners and broadcasters. The Chinese Communist Party has increased so-called red tourism ahead of the 100th anniversary of the founding of the Chinese Communist Party later this year. Young students from across the country are encouraged to visit places associated with the Communist Party. One of the most popular sites is Xiaibaipo, an important Communist Party base during the Civil War. In a square in front of a Communist Party memorial hall at Xiaibaipo in northern China, row upon row of party members raise their fists and chant the party oath in unison. "I will never betray the party," they called out, facing statues of the People's Republic of China founder Mao Zedong and other revolutionary leaders before moving on to be quickly replaced by another group. Xiaibaipo was an important Communist Party base during China's Civil War, which ended in 1949 with the victorious Communists sweeping to power. Earlier this month it was a stop on a 4-day government-organised media tour to some of the party's most important historical sites to mark the 100th anniversary of its founding on July the 1st. 13 delegates, including Mao, attended the first Congress in Shanghai in 1921 to set up the party. I am excited. I feel I'm taking on a responsibility too, to strive for the realisation of communism. As a young person who is soon entering adulthood, of course I and others carry the future of our motherland. I have come to Xiaibaipo to learn about the Red Spirit so that I can build the new China better and better. Party researchers and officials told Reuters the large numbers of visitors to Xiaibaipo reflects a national push to get people, especially party members and cadres, to get involved with the upcoming anniversary. Schools are also taking part. At Xiaibeipo in Hebei province, a large group of students was lined up, given small national flags and told to recite their Communist Youth League oaths, just as the senior party members were doing. The idea of the motherland was also featured in Yan'an, the city in northwest China, mythologized in party history as the birthplace of the revolution where Mao cemented his authority as party leader. Students were seen being asked to recite the patriotic song Ode to the Motherland by a tour guide. Among the adult visitors, many such as Zhang Zhaiyang from Hunan province said they were in Yan'an as part of a red tourism or party building trip organised by their party unit or employer. This trip was organised by our employer. We take party building activities very seriously. It is the leadership of the Communist Party that gives us happiness. I think that this is very important and I feel very proud. The push to study the party's history this year is a boon to tourism in red tourist hotspots like Yan'an and Xiaibeipo, say officials, but the trend is not new. Before the pandemic, tourism in Yan'an grew consistently, officials said, from 40.25 million visitors in 2016 to 73.08 million in 2019. Nationwide, the drive to step up patriotic sentiment in part through party study has been a theme since Xi Jinping became China's leader nearly a decade ago.
Conservative Ecuadorian President Guillermo Lasso was sworn in on Monday. The new president promises to revive an economy battered by the coronavirus pandemic and create jobs for a population weary from years of painful austerity measures. His electoral victory also strengthens the anti-communist movement in South America.
The 65-year-old former banker beat socialist economist Andrés Arauz, who had promised to restore the generous social spending programs of former President Rafael Correa, who was in power for a decade until 2017. But Lasso has few clear paths to spurring growth given tight government finances and a Congress led by the indigenous Pachakutik Party, which has opposed mining and oil industry projects that provide much of Ecuador's export revenue. Outgoing President Lenin Moreno, who did not seek a second term, was unable to kickstart the economy using traditional free market measures such as cutting government spending and borrowing from the International Monetary Fund. Lasso has said he will promote new private sector investment and will seek a review of the $6.5 billion IMF agreement to soften some of its terms. We will integrate ourselves completely into the world for free and fair trade, for more Ecuador in the world. There are 7.4 billion people in the world. There is a great opportunity for Ecuador to sell its Ecuadorian talent, Ecuadorian products. And the world has infinite savings to invest in Ecuador, which we can get locally. There you have the great opportunity that is the world, and for the world to also know that we are committed to international consensus so as to achieve a sustainable development. On foreign policy, Lasso said his main priority will be to integrate Ecuador into the Pacific Alliance trade bloc, including Chile, Peru, Colombia and Mexico, which are among the most trade-friendly countries in Latin America.
That's the news. Thank you for watching. Stay with us for the weather, Poland Daily Business and more programmes. But from me, it's have a good night and a better tomorrow.